Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. I know this isn't how tonight was supposed to go. Jason and I, we were supposed to sit here and tell you our perfect love story. The one about the handsome guy who fell for the fat girl and proved that love sees past appearances and that fairy tales do exist. But I need to tell you the truth instead. My name is Chloe Bennett. I'm 28 years old. I'm a graphic designer. I have amazing friends who love me. I have a family who supports me. And up until about 4 hours ago, I thought I had found the love of my life. I want to start from the beginning because I think it's important that you understand how this worked. How someone like him could do this to someone like me. How I never saw it coming. We met at a coffee shop 13 months ago. I was working on a client pitch, stressed out of my mind, and I accidentally knocked over my entire iced latte onto the floor. I was mortified. I'm always worried about taking up space, about being too much, and there I was, making this huge mess. The barista was annoyed. People were staring, and I just wanted to disappear. And then Jason walked over with a handful of napkins and the kindest smile I'd ever seen. He helped me clean it up. He told the barista it could happen to anyone. He bought me a new coffee, and when I tried to pay him back, he said he'd rather I gave him my number instead. I remember laughing because I thought he was joking. I thought there's no way this gorgeous man with his perfect teeth and his expensive watch actually wants my number. But he insisted. He said I had the most beautiful smile he'd ever seen, and he'd kick himself if he didn't at least try. So I gave it to him. And I went home and I told my best friend Emma that I met someone, but he probably wouldn't call. Because men like that don't call women like me. That's just how it is. Or how I thought it was. But he did call. That same night, and we talked for 3 hours about everything and nothing. He told me about his job in marketing. I told him about my designs. He made me laugh so hard I snorted, and instead of being grossed out, he said it was adorable. He asked me on a date for that Friday. Our first date was at this little Italian place in the city. I spent 6 hours getting ready. I changed my outfit 4 times. I wore my black dress because black is slimming, right? That's what magazines always say. I did my makeup 3 times because my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I was so nervous I thought I might throw up. When he picked me up, he told me I looked stunning. Not cute, not nice, stunning. And the way he looked at me, I actually believed him. At dinner, he asked me real questions about my childhood, my dreams, what I wanted out of life. He didn't make jokes about me ordering pasta. He didn't comment on what I ate at all. He split a dessert with me, and when the tiramisu came, he let me have the bigger half without making it weird. When he dropped me off, he kissed me on my doorstep and asked if he could see me again. I said yes before he even finished the sentence. The next few months were magic. That's the only word I have for it. He texted me good morning every single day. He planned thoughtful dates. He brought me coffee at work when I had tough deadlines. He held my hand in public like he was proud to be with me. He did things that made me feel seen. There was this time, about 2 months in, we were at a restaurant and the waiter made this comment. It was subtle, but it was there. He looked at me and then looked at Jason and said something like, "Well, someone's got a healthy appetite," when I ordered an appetizer. And Jason shut it down immediately. He asked to speak to a manager. He made sure that waiter understood that kind of comment was unacceptable. I'd never had anyone defend me like that before. He told me he loved me on our 4th-month anniversary. We were watching the sunset from his apartment, and he just said it like it was the easiest thing in the world. "I love you, Chloe." Just like that. And I said it back because I meant it. Because I did love him. I loved him so much, it scared me. But even in all that magic, there were little things. Things I told myself didn't matter. He never introduced me to his parents. He said they were always traveling. His mom was in Europe. His dad was busy with work. The timing was never right. And I understood because my parents are busy too, but it was always an excuse. He never posted me on his main Instagram feed, only on stories, the ones that disappear after 24 hours. When I asked about it once, he said he wasn't big on social media. He said what we had was private and special and didn't need to be broadcast. And I thought that was romantic. I thought that meant he valued our relationship too much to make it performative. He never let me meet his friends. He said they were immature, that they wouldn't get me, that he kept that part of his life separate because it was all surface level stuff and I was real. I was different. I was important. I thought all of these things meant he was mature, that he was a private person, that he valued substance over show. I was so stupid. This morning we were supposed to come here together. He told me 2 weeks ago about this podcast, about the Truth Booth. He said he'd submitted our story and they wanted us to come on and share our relationship. He said it would be amazing, a celebration of our love. He seemed so excited, so proud. I was nervous. I don't like being on stage. I don't like all these eyes on me. But he promised it would be okay. He said we'd do it together. He said it would be a moment we'd remember forever. He was right about that last part. This morning, we were getting ready at his apartment. He was in the shower. His phone was on the counter, and it kept buzzing. Over and over and over. I wasn't trying to snoop. I swear I wasn't. But it wouldn't stop, and I thought maybe it was important. Maybe it was work. Maybe it was his mom. So I looked. The notification said, "The Whale Watch." That was the name of the group chat. 23 messages. I didn't understand what that meant at first. I thought maybe it was some inside joke, some fantasy football thing. Guys have weird names for their group chats, but something in my stomach dropped. Some instinct I'd been ignoring for months suddenly screamed at me to look. So I opened his phone. His password was my birthday, which I thought was sweet. Now I think he just needed me to know it so I'd never suspect anything. The group chat loaded. And I started reading. The first message I saw was from someone named Brad. It said, "Tonight's the night, bro. Don't choke." Then someone named Tyler. "Dude, you've been keeping this whale for a whole year. You're definitely winning the pot." Then Jason's response, "Easy money. She has no idea." I kept scrolling. I went back months, further and further, and I found it all. I found the original dare, posted 1 year and 2 weeks ago. The challenge was simple. Who could date a plus-size woman the longest? Who could make her fall in love the deepest? Who could get the most proof of the relationship? Photos, videos, texts where she said, "I love you." All of it was currency. All of it earned points. There were photos of me, screenshots of my text messages to him, pictures he'd taken of me when I thought we were just making memories. Me at dinner, me laughing at something he said, me sleeping in his bed on a Sunday morning. All of them sent to this group chat with comments underneath. "She actually thinks you're into her. How do you not throw up when you kiss her?" Dude, the commitment is insane. I couldn't do it. What's she weigh now? Has she gained weight since you started dating her? There were weigh-ins. He'd been tracking my weight. When I stepped on his scale in the bathroom, he'd take photos of the number and send them to the group. They had a running spreadsheet. There were photos of me eating, me enjoying a meal, something that should be normal and human and fine. And underneath them, vomit emojis, pig emojis, comments about how disgusting it was. There were messages about tonight, about how the final reveal was supposed to happen here, on stage, in front of all of you. That was the endgame. Make me fall completely in love with him. Bring me somewhere public, somewhere humiliating. And then tell me the truth. Tell me it was all a bet, that I was never a girlfriend. I was a dare, a punchline, a story they could tell at parties. The pot was $30,000. I was worth $30,000 of cruelty. I stood there in his bathroom reading his phone and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain kept trying to make it make sense, trying to find an explanation that wasn't what it obviously was. Maybe it was an old chat, and he'd changed. Maybe it was taken out of context. Maybe. But it wasn't. It was real. It was all real. Every kiss was fake. Every I love you was a lie. Every moment I thought we were building something. He was collecting evidence for a game. I almost ran. I almost grabbed my purse and left and never looked back. I thought about going home and pretending this never happened, blocking his number, crying in my bed, calling Emma and telling her she was right to be suspicious, just disappearing and letting him wonder what happened. But then I looked at myself in the mirror, really looked, and I saw this woman who'd spent her whole life making herself smaller, quieter, less. I saw this woman who believed she was lucky to be loved instead of knowing she deserved it. And I got angry, not sad, not heartbroken yet, just angry. He was planning to humiliate me tonight, to stand on that stage and tell all of you that I was a joke, that our entire relationship was performance art, that he'd successfully pretended to love a fat girl for a year to win money from his trash friends. So I decided to beat him to it. I put his phone back exactly where it was. I wiped my face. I put on this blue blouse because he always said it made my eyes look pretty. I did my hair. I smiled when he got out of the shower. I said I was excited for tonight. I held his hand in the car on the way here. And I waited. Because here's the thing he didn't understand. He thought I was weak. He thought I was so desperate for love that I'd crumble when the truth came out. He thought the humiliation would destroy me. But I've been humiliated before. I've been bullied. I've been called every name you can imagine. I've had people moo at me in hallways. I've had men laugh at me in bars. I've had strangers comment on my body my entire life, like it's public property. What I haven't had, what I've never had until today, is proof that I'm not crazy. Proof that my instincts were right. Proof that the doubts I buried and the red flags I ignored were real. Jason, if you're confused right now, if you're wondering why I interrupted you, let me explain. I read the messages. All of them. Every single degrading, disgusting word you and your friends said about me. I saw the photos, the spreadsheets, the weigh-ins. I know about the dare. I know about the $30,000. I know that tonight was supposed to be your big reveal, your moment of glory. But I'm taking that from you. You wanted to tell these people that you tricked me, that you spent a year pretending to love me as a joke. You wanted them to laugh. You wanted me to fall apart so you could be the guy who pulled off the ultimate prank. But I'm not falling apart. I'm standing right here. And I'm telling them first, you are a cruel, broken, pathetic man who gets validation from humiliating women. You don't hate me because I'm fat. You don't even see me as human enough to hate. I was just a prop in your sad little game with your sad little friends. And the worst part, the part that really kills me, is that you're not even original. Men have been doing this forever. The pretty popular guy pretends to like the ugly girl as a dare. It's a plot in a dozen movies. It's a cliché. And you thought you were so clever. But you weren't clever. You were lazy and obvious and mean. Every time you told me I was beautiful, I believed you. Every time you held my hand in public, I thought you were brave. Every time you defended me against someone who was rude, I thought you actually cared. I thought I'd finally found someone who saw past my body and loved me for me. But you never saw past my body. My body was the whole point. I was only interesting to you because you thought I was disgusting. Because dating me was hard mode. Because keeping it up for a year was impressive to your friends. You know what the saddest part is? I actually loved you. Not the fake you. I didn't know that person existed. I loved the you that you showed me. The attentive boyfriend who brought me coffee. The guy who texted good morning. The man who said I was stunning even when I felt invisible. That person doesn't exist, but loved him anyway. And you took advantage of that. You weaponized my insecurity. You knew exactly what to say and what to do because you were studying me. Learning my weaknesses, finding the cracks so you could shatter me when the time was right. But here's what you didn't count on. I'm not ashamed. Not anymore. Not of my body. Not of loving you. Not of any of it. I'm angry. I'm heartbroken. I'm humiliated. But I'm not ashamed. You should be ashamed. You and Brad and Tyler and every single one of your disgusting friends who participated in this. You should be ashamed that at 29 years old, you're still acting like a fraternity pledge desperate for approval. You should be ashamed that you spent a year of your life hurting someone just to impress people who don't even respect you. Because they don't. I read those messages too. You know what they said about you? They called you pathetic for actually spending time with me. They said you were taking the dare too far. They made fun of you for kissing me, for sleeping with me. One of them literally said, "Dude's catching feelings for the whale," and everyone laughed. They don't think you're cool. They think you're a joke too. The difference is, I was in on it unknowingly. You're genuinely trying to impress them. So congratulations, Jason. You wasted a year of my life. You made me fall in love with someone who doesn't exist. You took my vulnerability and trust and used them against me. But you didn't break me. I will heal from this. I will go to therapy. I will cry to my friends. I will have days where I don't want to get out of bed. I will struggle to trust people. I will second-guess every compliment. I will wonder if other people are secretly laughing at me too. But eventually, I will be okay. I will find someone who actually loves me. Someone who isn't performing. Someone who sees me as a human being instead of a dare. You, though, you're going to be exactly who you are forever. You're going to be the guy who did this. Your friends are going to be the guys who thought this was funny. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not for years, but one day you're going to realize what you lost. Not me specifically, but the chance to be a decent person. The chance to actually feel something real. Because that's the thing about people like you. You're so obsessed with looking like you feel things that you forgot how to actually feel them. You wanted the appearance of a loving relationship without doing the work of actually loving someone. You wanted credit for being a good guy without being good. And now, everyone knows. I want to say something to anyone watching this. Anyone who's ever felt like they weren't enough. Like they were lucky to be chosen. Like they should be grateful that someone found them attractive despite their body or their face or their whatever. You deserve real love. Not performed love. Not love with conditions. Not love that disappears when the stories expire. You deserve someone who introduces you to their parents. Who posts you on their main feed. Who brings you around their friends because they're proud of you. You deserve someone who defends you because they actually care. Not because it's part of the character they're playing. You deserve someone who sees you. Really sees you. All of you. The good days and the bad days and the days you don't wear makeup and the days you eat too much pasta and the days you're anxious and the days you're confident. And if someone makes you feel like you're not enough, if someone makes you feel grateful instead of valued, trust that feeling. Trust your instincts. Because I ignored mine and I ended up here. But I'm glad I'm here now. I'm glad I found out. I'm glad I didn't waste another year or 5 years or a lifetime with someone who saw me as a dare. Jason, I hope your friends think this was worth it. I hope that $30,000 spends well. I hope you tell this story at parties and everyone laughs and you feel like a legend, because that's all you have now. This story, this moment, this cruelty. I have my dignity. I have my truth. I have the knowledge that I was brave enough to love someone completely even when it scared me. Even when I thought I didn't deserve it. I took that risk. I was vulnerable. I was real. You were a coward playing a character. So yeah, that's the truth. That's the real story. Not the fairy tale about the guy who loved the fat girl. The horror story about the guy who spent a year torturing someone for money and laughs. I'm done now. I'm going to walk off this stage. I'm going to go home. I'm going to block his number. I'm going to delete every photo. I'm going to burn everything that reminds me of this. And then I'm going to heal and grow and learn to trust again. And eventually, I'm going to find someone who actually deserves me. But you Jason, you're going to be you forever. And that's a worse fate than anything you tried to do to me. Thank you for listening. And Jason, lose my number.